Hello, everybody. So I'm back once again, as promised earlier, that I will discuss the IUPAC names of the compounds which I have discussed in my last video. That is the common names of those compounds, whichever I had discussed. Now I'll discuss the IUPAC names of these compounds. So let us recollect a little. CH4 is methane. C2H6 is ethane, C3H8 is propane, so on and so forth. So now what happens is that when we have the monohalogen compounds, we are trying to replace one of the hydrogen with a halogen X. So what is the rule of the IUPAC? We do not persist on the number of hydrogens. We only focus on the carbon. So one carbon itself is enough to call this compound methane. So this halogen which has been substituted in methane will be called a halomethane. For example, if this is replaced with chlorine, we will call it chloromethane according to the IUPAC system. So you cannot argue with me like, why aren't there 4 hydrogens? There has to be 4 hydrogens and then only we call it methane. No, it is a derivative of methane. Methane being the parent, where one of the hydrogens has been substituted with halogen chlorine, so it is chloromethane. Similarly, when you replace one of the hydrogen of ethane with, say, bromine, this will have the IUPAC name, which is bromomethane. Okay, so let's go on to the next compound which I dealt with was isopropyl. Yes, I hope you recollect this compound. This is isopropyl chloride, which is the common name. So how do we write the IUPAC name of this compound? So IUPAC name says that you number the carbons from the beginning till the end. You cannot choose this carbon as your first carbon. It would be wrong because IUPAC rules suggest that you have to have the longest chain as the parent. So the parent here is propane. All right, the parent here is propane because it consists of 3 carbons. Instead of writing this way, let me simply put it maybe the easier way to understand. See, isn't this and this compound the same? Haven't I written the same thing again, but in a different, transposition? So see, this is 2-chloromethane. Why 2-chloro? Because the second carbon of the parent has the chlorine. So that is why 2-chloropropane. So the IUPAC name of isopropyl chloride is 2-chloropropane. I hope it is clear. So similarly, let me take up the next compound, which is this. I hope you still remember that this is your 3-degree carbon. So the common name is tert butyl bromide. So today we are to discuss the IUPAC name. So once again, take up the longest chain as the parent from the beginning till the end. So this is the 3-carbon chain, which is the parent. So again, the parent is of 3 carbons, and hence the name is derived to the 3-carbon parent, which is propane. Now you look for the groups which you have not mentioned. You have already finished this, and this carbon, and you have called it propane. you are left with this circled atoms which you have not put it in the name as yet. So you have a bromo and you have a methyl. Which should you place right first? It's in alphabetical order. So the bromine, which is on the second carbon, is 2-bromo. And the methyl, which is also there on the second carbon, is 2-methyl. So this is 2-bromo, 2-methyl propane. And this is the IUPAC name of third butyl bromide. Okay, everyone. So let's proceed to the next one, which is, yes, you all are correctly guessing it. I am trying to draw the 4-degree carbon. Yes, this is the 4-degree carbon. And I will place a halogen here. Let it be bromine. So if you remember, the common name is, yes, neopentyl bromide. Let us discuss the IUPAC name. Once again, let us figure out which is the longest chain. Yeah, this is the one. This is the longest chain. And the longest chain, according to IUPAC rules, should contain the functional group. You may set up an argument with me saying that this is also propane. Why not pick this up as a parent? No, it does not have the functional group attached to the carbon, main parent carbon. Does it have? No. So that is why this is not the parent. All right, though it is propane, the same number of carbon as the one marked with red, but this is the parent marked with red because it has a functional group bromine attached to the main carbon, parent carbon. So once again, because it contains 3 carbons, propane is the parent. Next, we have this, and this unmentioned in the name as here. So once again, it's in alphabetical order. A bromo is on the first carbon, so it is 1-bromo. And then on the second carbon, we have 2 methyls. So you should call it 2,2-dimethyl. All right, 2,2-dimethyl propane. Do not forget to write 2 twice. It means there is a methyl on the second carbon. Again, there is a methyl on the second carbon, and then it is 2,2-dimethyl propane. Okay, next let us go to a secondary. Yes, not iso anymore. Secondary. I hope you remember the difference between secondary and iso. So this is secondary, 2-degree. So when we write a common name, this is secondary butyl. By now you must be very familiar with the common names from my first video if you have watched it. So this is secondary butyl chloride. So as we are discussing the IUPAC name today, IUPAC, the first rule says that you should choose the longest carbon chain as the parent. Okay, so why haven't we chosen the other way around? The other way around means here, this has 1, 2, 3, and 4. Why isn't the numbering, black numbering correct? Why is the red numbering correct? The reason is that if you take the red numbering, the chlorine is on the second carbon. But if you take the black carbon numbering, the chlorine is on the third carbon. So a rule of IUPAC says that you should give the lowest number possible to the functional group. So that is why the red numbering is correct and the black one is wrong. Okay, so the IUPAC name of this compound is 2-chlorobutane. Okay, so let us go to some exercise questions and see if you are able to work out the common and IUPAC name correct? Remember, we are in monohalogens. Let us discuss the common name first. This is a 4-degree carbon. Yes. So the common name is neo. Total number of carbons is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this is neo hexyl chloride. But do not mix up the common and IUPAC name. Common name deals with totality of carbons, and IUPAC name deals with the longest carbon chain as the parent. So as evident, as seen by you all, you can figure it out that this is the longest chain containing the halogen. Okay, so this is the correct numbering. If you say that we number from left to right, it would be wrong. Once again, why? Because the functional group gets more preference. Halogen has more preference compared to the alkynes. So that is why, the halogen is numbered first. There is a priority table which gives you the priority order of functional groups. So halogen has more priority compared to the alkyls. So the numbering 1 goes to the carbon containing the halogen. So the IUPAC name of this compound is 1-chloro 3,3-dimethyl butane. There are a total of 4 carbons, so the parent is butane. A very important rule of IUPAC, as you may have observed in my previous slides also, that a number and a letter is separated by a hyphen. See, a number and a letter is separated by a hyphen. I'm noticing always a number and a letter is separated by a hyphen. Between 2 numbers, there is a comma. So this is how you should remember the rules, a few rules I have discussed today itself. All right. Let us go to something which I probably did not discuss in my last video, something very interesting. You would agree that this is a 3-degree carbon. So we have the right to call it a tert pentyl chloride. Yes? Or, listen to the common name. It is also called amyl chloride. And these common names have their own history to tell, which probably I can take it up in another episode of mine. Okay, so let us go to the IUPAC name of this compound. Yes, you know the numbering rules. Now we will number it from left. You are correct. 1, 2, 3, 4. See, you all have become smart. You can locate that the chlorine is closer from the left side. It will have a smaller number to be given compared to the right side where it gets the number 3. So yes, the IUPAC name of this compound is 2-chloro 2-methyl butane. So we have discussed the IUPAC names of a few compounds which I had discussed in my first video. So in my forthcoming video, I would take up the naming, the common name and the IUPAC names of dihalogen, trihalogen derivatives of alkanes. Do look forward to seeing this episode and the next ones. Do subscribe and do not forget to like the video, subscribe and share it with your friends. Thank you so much for watching.